You may be the boss of your business, but are you the boss of your schedule? Have you put those boundaries in place to set yourself up for success? Hi, I'm Kathleen Lawson, and I work with female entrepreneurs, helping them put the strategy, structure, and routines in place so they can execute on all their big goals. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our tips. So, a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners work under this sort of winging it mentality, especially when it comes around to their time management, how they manage their schedule, and they get really into kind of reactive mode. But here's the thing about that: until we learn to put the boundaries in place and really hold them, we're going to forever have our time prioritized by other people, other projects, other last minute issues. So you really need to learn to take control of your time. And today I'm going to share a couple of strategies with you. So, first, set your hours. And I know this sounds kind of elementary, but it's one of the things that people drop as soon as they start their own business because they think, oh, I work for myself now. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And they let go of that structure. And they find after a little while that it's much better with that kind of structure. So when you set your hours, not only are you setting the hours that you're working, but you're setting the hours that you're not working. And this is one of the things that helps keep you from working all the hours. And the other thing is it's very empowering to set an end time every day. And it can't be when you are finally so exhausted that you can't do anymore, or when your kids are screaming about dinner. Like, you set the time and decide when you're going to stop every day. Very empowering. Second one is to schedule the first hour of your day to work on your business. So this is a tough one for small business owners. They have a hard time pushing aside the client work to work on their business. And this is a universal issue. But here's the thing. You your clients are going to come and go, but your business needs to be ongoing. You need to have that pipeline always full. You need to sustain your business. And, at the end of the day, when you're tired, you will always get the client work done. But if you're tired and it's things for your business that you need to do, it's the first thing you're going to blow off, which is why I always suggest taking that first hour of the day to focus on your own business development and the things that you need to do for your business. So writing proposals or following up on proposals, following up on networking conversations, all the things that you need to do to drive your business development, your sales, keep your business moving, your pipeline growing. So first hour of the day, your business. All right, next up, be aware of your natural rhythms and protect the time that you're at your best. And you probably know this. Like, oh, I'm best in the morning, or I'm best in the afternoon, or I need to write at this time of the day. So take that into account when you're working on your schedule and when you're scheduling meetings and things like that. So if you are best doing focused work in the morning, then do that in the morning and have your meetings and networking talks and that kind of stuff later in the afternoon. Or if you are opposite of that and you get really creative in the late afternoon, then take the morning to do your meeting. So keep that in mind as you're working on your schedule. Take breaks. So you've probably heard the research. They study what is the ideal amount of time to work at once. Is it 37 minutes or is it 52 minutes? You decide, the chunk of time you want to work. Set a timer if you need to, and then stop and take a few minutes. And after a couple of those, take a longer break. But if you will find that you will be more productive if you integrate those breaks during your day. If you just go straight out, you're going to peter out and you're not going to be as productive. So take those breaks and put yourself on the schedule. You want to take that yoga class 3 mornings a week, or go get to the gym in the afternoon, do that. If you don't put it on your schedule, it's not going to happen. You're going to find yourself at the end of every day going, oh, I didn't get to the gym again, or I didn't take that class I wanted to, or I didn't do whatever it was I wanted to do for myself. You've got to put yourself on this schedule as well. Okay, have your clients book their time with you through a scheduler. If you are not doing this. This is low hanging fruit and an easy thing to implement, but trying to set meeting times via email back and forth, like, how are you on Wednesday? Well, Wednesday's no good for me. How about Tuesday? Okay, Tuesday at 10? No, 10 doesn't work. How about, and back and forth and back and forth. Get yourself a scheduler. Calendly is a nice, easy one, or Acuity, or a lot of the CRMs have those built in, but get yourself a scheduler. And then be really strategic about your availability and about your appointment times. You do not need to be available all the time for calls. And a lot of this trips up a lot of brand new business owners because they think they need to have all the availability. And if they don't, that a potential client's going to go elsewhere. And that just doesn't happen. 99.9% of the time when people go to schedule a call with your scheduler, they will pick a time that you're available. And if they just can't fit it in there, they'll typically reach out to you and say, hey, I can't do any of these times for the next week. Do you have anything else? And then, on these one-off occasions that come up very rarely, you can work that out with them. But so be really strategic about those blocks that you're available for meetings. And maybe you decide, I'm going to take, no meetings on Mondays and Fridays. Monday, I'm going to work on admin stuff. Friday, I'm going to work on my own marketing, or whatever it might be. But you can decide, days you don't want to take calls or times you don't want to take calls. Be really strategic about that. And don't fall into the trap that you need to have all your time available. That is because then you also end up with meetings all over the place, and it's hard to get other things done. So get your meeting time a little bit more condensed, and it'll make it easier for you to schedule things. So that's our scheduling. And finally, stay in your own lane. We've been talking about boundaries here, and you're going to set yours, but your colleagues or your clients or your friends are going to have different boundaries, and you can't worry about theirs. You need to do what's right for you in your business. So get those set, and then don't worry about anybody else. Put the blinders on, stay in your lane, and do what's going to work for your business. So I hope these tips were helpful to you. If you're going to implement one, would love to hear about it in the comments, what you're trying, or if you have something that we didn't even cover here, another good scheduling strategy, I'd love to hear about it.